50 Cent and Rick Ross have been at it for years, trading jabs, making headlines, and keeping hip-hop fans entertained with their ongoing feud. The latest incident? 50 Cent going off about Rick Ross opening for Bow Wow on the Millennium Tour. Now, to the average person, this might just seem like another rapper making fun of another rapper, but if you know anything about 50 Cent, you'd know that when he comes for someone, he goes all in. He's known for holding grudges, and he's been taking shots at Ross for over a decade.
What's up? No love, calling all these niggas out. And when I know that bitch, you better go down.
This latest moment is just another chapter in a long-running back and forth between two artists who simply do not get along. So, what exactly happened this time? 50 Cent took to social media to mock Rick Ross, suggesting that he wasn't really a special guest on Bow Wow's tour, but was actually there because he couldn't sell tickets on his own. He laughed about how Ross performed I'm on One, a track from 2011 that featured Drake, and pointed out that the crowd got most excited when Drake's verse played. The implication? That Ross needed Drake's music to hype up the audience. It was classic 50 Cent, using humor and sarcasm to get under someone's skin. But this isn't just a one-time thing. This is the latest moment in a beef that's been brewing for years. To understand why 50 Cent and Rick Ross are always at each other's throats, you have to go back to the start. Their problems began in 2008. The exact reason why it all started is still debated, but Ross has claimed that he took issue with something 50 Cent did at the BET Awards that year. According to Ross, 50 Cent gave him a look that he didn't appreciate. That's all it took. After that, Ross fired the first shot with his song Mafia Music, where he threw some not-so-subtle bars at 50. If there's one thing you don't want to do, it's get into a war of words with 50 Cent. He lives for this kind of thing. 50 responded in classic 50 fashion. He dropped Officer Ricky, Go Ahead, Try Me, a track designed to clown Ross over his past as a correctional officer. This was a major move because at the time, street credibility was everything in hip-hop. If people found out you had once worked in law enforcement, that could seriously damage your reputation. 50 Cent pushed that narrative hard, making it a huge talking point. But Ross didn't back down. He doubled down, kept firing shots, and continued his career without letting 50's taunts derail him. This surprised a lot of people because many artists who went against 50 Cent didn't last long. 50 had already ended Ja Rule's reign in the early 2000s, and plenty of others avoided beef with him altogether. But Ross, he wasn't afraid to go toe-to-toe with 50, and that's part of why this feud has lasted so long. Then things got personal. 50 Cent took things beyond music and involved Ross's personal life. He brought Ross's ex, Lestonia Leviston, into the feud by leaking a private tape of her. This led to a massive lawsuit, and in 2015, 50 Cent was ordered to pay $5 million in damages. It was one of the few times 50's trolling actually cost him something significant. He even filed for bankruptcy around that time, though many believe it was a strategic move to avoid paying huge amounts in lawsuits. Despite all of this, Ross kept thriving. He dropped hit albums, signed major deals, and kept expanding his brand. He even made peace with some of 50's other enemies, like Fat Joe, showing that he wasn't worried about the power 50 once had in the industry. Fast forward to today, and you'd think that maybe, just maybe, these two would have moved on. But no, 50 Cent is still going at Ross whenever he gets the chance. This latest moment, where he's mocking Ross for being on Bow Wow's tour, is just another example of how 50 Cent refuses to let things go. But why does he care so much? Part of it is just 50's personality. He enjoys making fun of people, and if he doesn't like you, he's going to let the world know. He also has a way of turning these feuds into entertainment. Over the years, he's beefed with countless rappers, actors, and even networks. It keeps his name in the headlines, and he's built a brand off of being a master troll. Another part of it is competition. 50 Cent and Rick Ross were both seen as major players in the 2000s, and even though their careers have gone in different directions, there's always going to be that competitive edge. 50 Cent transitioned into television and business, while Ross focused on music, restaurants, and other ventures. Despite their success, there's still a battle over who is the bigger boss. And then there's just pure ego. Neither of these men wants to admit defeat. 50 Cent doesn't want to stop taking shots, and Ross refuses to let 50's words affect him. It's a never-ending cycle, and as long as both of them are still relevant, they're probably going to keep going at each other. So, What happens next? If history tells us anything, 50 Cent will keep finding ways to poke fun at Ross. Maybe Ross will respond, maybe he won't. Either way, this isn't the kind of thing that just disappears overnight. It's been going on for nearly 2 decades, and as long as there's an opportunity for 50 Cent to crack a joke at Ross's expense, he's probably going to take it. This whole situation shows how much hip-hop rivalries have changed. In the past, rap feuds were settled through diss tracks, and, in some cases, real-life confrontations. Now, it's about social media, viral moments, and public perception. 50 Cent doesn't even have to make a diss song anymore. He just posts a meme, says something funny, and it spreads like wildfire. At the end of the day, both of these artists are successful in their own right. Ross is still making music and running businesses, while 50 Cent is dominating television and expanding his empire. They don't need to be fighting, but for fans, it's entertaining to watch. Maybe one day, they'll actually settle their differences. Or maybe, 20 years from now, 50 Cent will still be cracking jokes about Rick Ross's career. Knowing 50, that seems like the more likely option.